If you guys are in need of any grinding services, hit up my guy Rose NBA on Twitter. From domination to getting you guys a 95 plus overall hidden gem, he does it all. What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over looking at our top 10 centers right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, I do want to start off this video by saying if there is anybody I left off this list, I do apologize. It's kind of tough because right now I have to go in game and kind of search by collection, and it's not necessarily super easy to do. So if there is anybody that I leave off this list that should be on here, I do apologize. But I think I should have basically everybody I want on this list. Honorable mention to Artis Gilmore. He didn't make this list, but again, he's not. Artis Gilmore, to me, he's not what I look for in a center. His speed's not, high enough, those types of things, but he still can play a little ball. At number 10, though, we got a tie between two different guys that I think are literally basically the same center. You've got Wilt and you've got Shaq. These two guys are literally basically the same type of player. They're basically the same card in the game. Shaq might do some things better. Wilt might do some things better, but overall, they're basically the same card at the core. Wilt looks like has more base badges. Shaq is going to have a wider player model player build, but both cards are really good inside centers. The thing for me is this. I will never like using an inside center. I'll never like it. The problem is the floor is just so condensed. It just really hurts. And so, yes, I don't necessarily love either of these cards. I don't necessarily like running an inside big. That's why I'm not going to be higher on these cards. However, if you do like interior bigs, these are two of your best bigs in the entire game. Now, this is going to be kind of controversial, but at my number 9, we're plugging in Pink Diamond Jermaine O'Neal. I don't love this card. His release to me is absolutely trash. However, I think he's got to be in the top 10 center list. I think he has to. He's got 89 speed. He's got a decent enough 3-ball, although the release is literally horrible. Defensively, he's pretty solid. Now, yes, if you want a purely inside big, Shaq and Wilt, they're going to give you more on the court than Jermaine O'Neal. But if you want, a guy that at least has the ability to shoot the ball. I'm not saying you take a ton of threes with him. What I am saying is, you know what? You can't just leave him open. You can't just, act like the card doesn't exist on the court. You have to at least pay Jermaine O'Neal some respect. That is impactful for me, at least a little bit. It gives him a slight edge over those specific inside bigs. Now, again, is not nearly as tall as those other guys. Might not be quite as good on the interior. So I do think it's close. I do lean Jermaine O'Neal over those guys just for the sole fact that you at least have to respect that 3-ball. At my number 8, we're plugging in Pink Diamond Moses Malone. Now, here's the situation. Is Jermaine O'Neal better than Moses? Let's talk about it. Jermaine's got a higher 3-ball. However, I think people are going to have to respect Moses Malone more, which is crazy considering it's a minus 19 3-ball. But you give Moses a shoe, you give him a good coach, you now get that 3-ball to a 64-65, which is way better than a 60. His release is better. Defensive badges are better. In my opinion, I think Moses gives you more on the floor. Now, with that being said, I like Moses just as much at the power forward position than I do the center position, because at the center position, he's pretty undersized. But even with him being a little undersized, he's got really good rebounding stats, 97 interior, which is basically maxed out. His dunking stats are good as well. And so I know he's undersized, but he does so much else for you guys on the court that I think you've got to include him on this list. Moses Malone coming in at my number 8. At my number 7, I think we see a pretty big jump in the Diamond Miles Turner. Now, I'm a fan of Miles Turner. I think that this card is really good, really productive on the floor. Shoots the ball incredibly well. 88 3-ball with a good release. 80 speed, would like to see that probably be a little higher. But look at his defense, right? He's got Hall of Fame brick wall paint patroller. He's got 90 interior, solid rebounding stats. Even the 80 passing accuracy for Miles Turner, it matters, and that's extremely good. And so I know Miles Turner's not going to be as good as some of my guys in my top 5, but I don't think this card, I'd have to go look. I'm not, on the game right now, but I'd have to go look and see exactly what the price of Miles Turner really does look like, because this card to me is really good. If you need a guy to stretch the court at your center position, Miles Turner is one of the best. He's got an 88 3-ball, solid release. This card, in my opinion, is kind of underrated. There's not many people talking about Miles, but the card is extremely good. At my number 6, we're plugging in Pink Diamond Joel Embiid. Now, it's tough to compare Miles Turner to Joel Embiid just because Joel Embiid is going to play way better defense, and he still's got that 87 3 ball. To me, Embiid walks circles around Miles Turner. However, I do think there are better centers in the game than Embiid. To me, Embiid is a good card. I don't love his release. I think his release is good, but I don't love it. I don't think it's as good as even a guy like Miles Turner's. He's going to be more of a post-up guy than a specific stretch to the court, but I do think his defense does enough to put him over Miles Turner. I feel like defensively, Joel Embiid is one of the best defensive centers that we do have in the game, and I think we as a community at least have to respect what Joel Embiid can do on the court. Coming in at my number 6. At my number 5, we're plugging in Willis Reed. I know people are going to get mad. What? Willis Reed over Joel Embiid? Have you lost your mind? Hear me out. Willis Reed's release is so much better than Joel Embiid's. They shouldn't even be able to be compared. Like, they should not be able to be compared. Willis Reed has maybe the best jump shot at the center position in the entire game. Meanwhile, he's got 84 speed, perfect defense, Hall of Fame brick wall paint patroller post lockdown, and he's got the best release at the center position probably in the entire game. I know people are going to get mad that I have Willis Reed over Joel Embiid, but that's my truth. I genuinely believe Willis Reed does more for me on the court than Joel Embiid would, just because of his ability to shoot the ball. His release is absolutely chicken in my team. And if you've got the chance to get Willis Reed and love stretch bigs, he is going to be one of the best. When this card came out, I knew he was good. He is still good to this day. Willis Reed coming in at my number 5. At my number 4, we're plugging in the Diamond Jaren Jackson Jr., who simply put is better than Willis Reed, and he's better than Joel Embiid. I said it when Embiid and Jaren came out. I like Jaren more. Why? Look at the defensive badges of Jaren Jackson Jr. Hall of Fame box out beast, brick wall, high flying denier, interceptor, paint patroller, pogo stick, post lockdown, rebound chaser. He's got them all. He's got Hall of Fame set shot specialist. I will say this, I think Willis Reed has a better release than Jaren, but Jaren's release is way better than Joel Embiid's in my opinion. And again, that's just my opinion. So if you disagree, if you really like Joel Embiid, that's fine. At the end of the day, use cards that you want to use. Have fun with the cards you want to have fun with. But in my opinion, Jaren's been the best big that I have used this year so far. He has. He greens mostly every shot I take with the card. He plays fantastic defense. He doesn't get bullied on the interior by, the Wilts and the Shaqs of the world. To me, he's perfect. He has went down slightly in price as well, which is always nice, when cards you like or cards that are really good go slightly down in price. Jaren's price has went down, which is kind of a rarity so far this year. I feel like the top cards are super high in price. So Jaren, one of my favorite bigs in the entire game. Coming in at my number 3, Pink Diamond Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now, it's really this simple. I think when you talk about the top level guys in the game, number 3 and higher have a separation. I mean, they do. And I love Jaren. I love Joel Embiid. I love all these cards. But when you get into your top 3, it's pretty stout. Kareem at number 3. He's 7'2" with 88 speed with all of these defensive badges and a serviceable 3 ball. His 3 ball is not great, but it's serviceable. 62 3 ball. You can absolutely green with that. So that's kind of the way I look at Kareem. I do believe, with everything he's got, he's one of the best bigs in the entire game. To me, it just comes down to, can you green consistently with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? He's defensively going to be one of the best cards in the game. Can you consistently green with that 62 3 ball? Because I feel like his release, historically, I haven't got the chance to use this Kareem, but I feel like historically, Kareem's release has been super easy to green with. So if you can green with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I think you've got to respect that. Kareem coming in at my number 3. At my number 2, we're plugging in Pink Diamond David Robinson. Now, everybody should know who my number 1 is by now, but I don't want people to just overlook this David Robinson card because I absolutely love this card. 85 3 ball, 87 speed, defensively is perfect. And I know there's some people that don't necessarily love D-Rob's release or they feel like they aren't consistent with D-Rob's release. And I get that and I hear that, but at the end of the day, he's got some of the best defense at the center position in the entire game. He's 7'1", 96 interior, great rebounder, all of these defensive badges. I mean, to me, yes, there is a card that is going to be better than David Robinson on this list. But if you've got David Robinson, you can play him for the next 2 months, probably. I mean, you could probably play him till endgame, literally. I wouldn't recommend it. Obviously, we're going to get better and better cards. But if you wanted to, this card could probably play in May and June. He is that good in my team, especially on that defensive end of the court. Coming in at my number 1, this one should be no surprise to anybody watching this video. Pink Diamond Victor Wembanyama. This card is a literal cheat code, and it starts with his height. He is 7'4". And so what does that do? I think it's as much impactful offensively as it is defensively, because he can shoot over people. With his release, he shoots over people. Defensively, he's a beast. He's got great defensive badges, especially, you got to apply a movable and on-ball menace, but you do that. He's immaculate defensively, can shoot over people. He's got one of the best releases in the game. And oh yeah, by the way, he's 7'4", playing lanes as well. Like, this card is ridiculously good. If you've got Victor Wembanyama, can you give me $1 or something? Because this card is insanely expensive. But he is the best center in the game, and I don't even want to say it's not close, because I really do like D-Rob. But because Wemby is 7'4", it's not really close who the best center is in the game. And it's kind of sad that that's where we're at right now. But because Wemby is 7'4", because of everything he does for you guys on the court, the top center in the game right now really isn't close. It is Victor Wembanyama. Shoots lights out, has a great release. Defensively is fantastic because he is 7'4". There's just no real flaws in Victor Wembanyama in my team. Let me know down below in the comments, who should I have been higher on? Who should I have been lower on? Is there anybody that I left off the list? If there is, again, I apologize. It is really tough to do. Like, even if you're looking at like diamonds, like Cycly, like Tim Duncan, it's just really tough for me not to miss out on anybody. So if there is somebody that I missed out on, I apologize. Like, this is a card right here that I'm looking at right now that probably should have been in my top 10. Chet probably would have been at like looking at things, probably like number 8, probably 7 or 8 should have been Chet. So I am going to throw him in here at the very end of this video. Like, I forgot Chet, so I do apologize. But it's just tough when I'm going through looking at 9 different sets, because there's really, and this would be a lot easier if these hidden gem cards weren't in the game. And so it just makes things super tough. I didn't include hidden gem cards. I tried to include everybody on this list, but it does get pretty hard for me to do. So forgive me for leaving out Chet, guys. I love each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for all the support recently on the videos. Drop a like on it. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.